Hello, and welcome to Uncle Bill's Kitchen. The winter melon, also called the wax gourd or dōng in Mandarin, is available at most Asian supermarkets throughout North America. Most places will cut them into individual circles like this. The full melon is very big, growing as large as 80 centimeters in length. An immature melon will have a fuzzy coating of fine hairs. A mature melon loses its hairs and develops a waxy coating, giving rise to its name, wax gourd. There are two different ways that you can use to peel the winter melon. One way is to take your full circle that you've purchased at the Asian supermarket and just cut along the outside, getting rid of all the green, leaving you with just the beautiful white on the inside of the rind, like so. Then you're going to take your knife and you're going to insert it through the circle around the seeds, and you're going to go just around the outside of the circle, getting rid of the seeds but taking care not to damage the meat. Now that you have your circle all cleaned up, we're going to take it and cut it in half, and then we're going to put these and cut them into about 1 to 1.25 inch cuts, like you see here. Very simple. It's almost like you're cutting cantaloupe or watermelon, just like this. See? All right, we're going to place these in our bowl. Let's get everything ready to peel the second half. Now, the second way I like to peel is by removing the end cap of the melon, which is pretty hard to eat. And we're going to take just a little peeler, a little potato peeler. And we're just going to go along the outside of the skin and remove this. This is my preferred method for the larger slices. For the small circles, I like to use the knife method. Oh, by the way, guys, if you like our videos, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. It costs you absolutely nothing, completely free. And what it does do is let you know when we have new videos come out, and it lets me know that you want to support my channel. Keep these videos coming. All right, great. Now, as you can see here, we've gotten all of the skin off, and we're going to discard that. We're going to slice down the center bias of this wonderful melon. And then what we're going to do is cut the seeds out here. Using a longer knife that's skinnier would work better, but this is what I've got, and I'm sure it's similar to what you guys got at home. Let's make this work. I try and leave as much of the meat as possible on this melon, getting rid of all the seeds. The other way you can get rid of the seeds is take a spoon and just outline the seed basket here, as I like to call it. Detach it from the meat like so, and voila! There you go. Very simple. Like I said, it's almost identical to how you seed a cantaloupe. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut these into about 1 to 1.25 inches. And then, just like the first time, we're going to cut these up into small pieces. Just like that. Do the same thing with the second half. Slice them into slices. And then chop, 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 chop. If you get a couple pieces that are a little bigger than the others, just cut them in half. Don't worry, it's going to be delicious. Now, what I've done is I've taken some pork rib. Actually, these are rib tips, and I've chopped them up into about 1-inch pieces, just like so. I figured you didn't want to sit here and watch me do that, so this is what that looks like. Just buy some rib tips at your butcher, chop them up into about 1-inch slices, and that's it. It's that simple. All right, next step, let's take a piece of ginger, get rid of this bad piece in the back, and what we're going to do is slice these into small circles. We don't need to take off the skin because we're not going to actually eat this. What we want to do is have that ginger flavor imparted into the water, and while we're cleaning the pork, we want to have that in there as well. Now what we're going to do is take our rib tips and ginger, place them into a pot of room temperature water, turn that bad boy on high, and get that boiling. Now, next step, let's take our cuttlefish balls. Take a picture here. If you don't know what they are, go to your Asian supermarket and you can pick these up. And you're going to want some squid nuggets. These give an amazing flavor to your broth, and it tastes great. I've seen a lot of videos where they make this winter melon soup with seafood, because in Michigan it's hard to get great seafood. I like to use this to add a little flavor. And why don't you help add a little flavor to my channel by hitting that like button? It helps with the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and the bell icon lets you know every time we release a video. Thanks for watching. Now, we're gonna cut these cuttlefish balls in half and the squid nuggets in half as well, just like this, you see? And you have a nice little added meat option in your meal. All right, now here's what we're looking for. As we're boiling the rib tips, we wanna get all of this scum out of the meat. It's all the blood and all of the fluids that have been stuck within the veins of the meat. We want to get that out, and we don't want that in our soup at all. This is what this process does. It takes about 5-10 minutes. I'm gonna rinse our bones off, as well as that wonderful meat from the rib tips. Cool it down with some cold tap water. Give it a nice little shake. Give it a little drizzle. And that's what you got right there. Perfect. All right, now let's boil some water, and as we bring that to a boil, we're going to add back our rib tips and the ginger. All right, now we've got some dried red jujubes, about 12 of them. You can get these at your Asian supermarket as well. Just take a screenshot and bring it in. They'll help you find them. These are completely optional, but I love it. This is just what's called lu wei packet. It's basically some bark and some herbs that I add into my soup. It's not normally added to winter melon soup, so it's just an option. If you know what it is, grab some. It makes a nice little fragrant smell come out. It's wonderful. All right, here, let's get our vermicelli noodles ready. These are the ones that I use, made from Weichun. Very good. Just take your noodles, put them into a bowl, and add hot tap water. As hot as your tap will go. Just add that to cover and let that sit for 10 minutes. All right, let's see how our soup is doing. It's steaming along well. Now what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna cook this for an hour and a half, which is as long as this is gone. Then we're gonna remove our bag, our ginger, get all those little pieces of ginger out of that soup. They've done their job. Look how beautiful this broth is, guys. Oh, so good. And guess what? Those jujubes you can eat. They're a very sweet tasting berry. Let's add some fish sauce here. It's going to be about 1.5 teaspoons. It's a very strong flavor. Add some umami-ness to your soup. You're going to love it. And then we're going to add some mijo. You can use any kind of cooking wine you like. Just a quick teaspoon of that into our mix. And then I like to add some chicken granules. These are the Asian style that I like to use. If you get them at your supermarket, make sure they're the Asian ones. It does have a lot better flavor. And here we've got 1/2 teaspoon of MSG. Finally rounding out that wonderful umami flavor and making everything taste great. This is optional as well. I like to grab these bang tai kwa. It's just a soup-based square. I use one. It adds a little bit of crab flavor to the soup. Again, this is optional. It is not the traditional way of making it, but if you want to kick it up a notch, this is the way to go. Get that nice and stirred in. Then again, another optional item I like to add are white fungus. These are just basically mushrooms that grow on the side of trees. You add them into some water and then they rehydrate. We're going to add in the rest of our winter melon here, along with those cuttlefish balls and our squid nuggets. We're going to let this simmer on a high simmer for about 15 minutes. If your stove's like mine and it's induction, I go about 20, but let me take a look here after 15 minutes, see how it looks. Wow, it looks great. The smell is wonderful, but when I try to poke my chopstick into the melon, has a little bit of difficulty coming out. And so that means to me that it's not ready. We're gonna let this go 5 more minutes, all right? Keep it covered, we'll come back. 5 minutes has elapsed, and if you look at that. The winter melon is tender. The mushrooms are delicious. The soup is nice and hot and bubbly with that umami flavor. Oh, so good. Now, the way I like to plate is first take a little bit of our soup mixture, get a lot of that melon because we got plenty of it, a little bit of the pork rib tips, the mushrooms, and don't forget those squid nuggets, and of course the cuttlefish balls. Wonderful. I like to add 1 or 2 jujubes into each bowl. Those mushrooms are just amazing, guys. Then we're going to cover this up with some soup. Can't forget that. That's the piece de resistance. And there you have it. Oh, can't wait to try this out. Beautiful. I had that vermicelli noodles in there. Wonderful smell. It's a great winter dish. Okay, so some of you have asked me to show myself eating the food that I make. So here we go. We got a nice little smell. Oh, the flavor is amazing. The umami taste from that the squid and the cuttlefish, as well as that seasoning, is really, really good. Oh, delicious. You got to try this. Thanks for stopping by Uncle Bill's Kitchen. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. For each and every one of you who have been sharing our recipes on your social media, thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's obviously making a difference on our channel, and we really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider it. It lets you get a notification every time we have a new video come out. It's absolutely free, and it helps our channel a lot.